The world is louder than it's ever been. And I mean that literally. Like, think about it for a second. Your phone buzzes, someone tags you, someone needs a reply, someone is watching what you post, what you like, what you don't like. Your boss wants something. Your friends are starting a group chat. There's a notification from an app you downloaded once and forgot about. And underneath all of that noise, there's this quiet, desperate version of you, just trying to think a single clear thought. Look, everyone wants your attention. Your phone, your friends, your family, your followers, even people you genuinely don't like. They all want a piece of you. And here's the brutal truth most people are too scared to say out loud. If you are always available to everyone else, you are never available for yourself. You are living in a reactive loop. Someone else rings the bell. You drool. That's not a life. That's a leash. It's time to cut the noise. It's time to go into ghost mode. Okay, so before you think this is about becoming some antisocial hermit who lives off the grid and hates people, just stop. That's not what this is. Ghost mode isn't about disappearing because you're weak. It's about disappearing because you're becoming too strong for the life you're currently living. Read that again if you need to. It's a strategic retreat, not a breakdown, not running away. It's the chess move your brain makes when it finally realizes that being busy isn't the same as being productive, and that being online isn't the same as being connected to anything that actually matters. In ghost mode, you stop posting every thought you have. You stop explaining yourself to people who wouldn't understand anyway. You stop seeking validation from people who aren't even on your level. And honestly, a lot of them aren't. Here's a stat that should genuinely disturb you. The average person in the United States spends over 7 hours a day on digital media. 7 hours, that's almost a full working day, every day, just consumed, scrolled away, liked and reacted and forgotten. Imagine what happens when you take those 7 hours back. I mean, actually imagine it, not just the time, the mental energy, the creative bandwidth, the clarity. You don't just get time back, you get your mind back. And your mind, when it's quiet and focused and not being pulled in 17 different directions at once, is the most dangerous, most valuable, most powerful tool you will ever own. Ghost mode is just the process of protecting it. Honestly, I used to be addicted to being visible. I thought being active meant I was doing something. I thought replying fast meant I was on top of things. I thought showing up everywhere, every event, every conversation, every comment section meant people respected me, needed me, valued me. What it actually meant was that I was terrified of being forgotten, terrified that if I went quiet for even a week, the whole thing would collapse. Like I was holding up a ceiling with my bare hands, and if I just stepped back for a second, everything would come crashing down. And that fear of being irrelevant, that's the most expensive thing most people are carrying right now, because it makes you say yes when you should say no. It makes you post when you have nothing to say. It makes you reply to messages that don't deserve your energy from people who wouldn't even notice if you vanished tomorrow. Most people are afraid of being forgotten. They think if they don't show up to every party or reply to every DM within seconds, they'll lose their relevance. But listen closely, and I need you to actually hear this. The most relevant person in your life is the one you see in the mirror. When you are everywhere, you are nowhere. When you are reacting to everyone else's world, you are not building your own. Ghost mode exists so you can build in the dark, work in silence, stack wins that nobody sees yet. Because here's the thing about silence that people always get wrong. They think it means nothing is happening. Silence is where everything actually happens. The version of you that's always available is maintaining. The version of you that goes ghost is evolving. And when you come back, and you will come back, your results do the talking. You don't have to announce anything. The work speaks, the numbers speak, the energy you carry when you walk into a room speaks. You aren't missing out. You are leveling up. Okay, so here's where I get tactical with you, because I'm not here to just inspire you for 12 minutes and then send you back to the same scroll loop you've been in since you were 13. That's not what this channel is about. I'm giving you a framework, the 30-day ghost mode reset. And I want to be clear, I'm not telling you to go live in a cabin in the woods for a year. I'm not telling you to delete everything and burn down your social presence. I'm telling you to try it. 30 days, just 30 days of selective, intentional ghosting. Here's what that actually looks like. First, no mindless scrolling, not less scrolling, none. If you open an app, you have a purpose. You're posting, you're DMing someone specific, you're checking something you need. And then you close it. You don't fall down the rabbit hole. You don't watch one more video. You don't keep refreshing because your brain is bored. Boredom, by the way, is the beginning of creativity. Stop killing it. Second, no unnecessary conversations. This one is harder than people expect. Most of us have relationships that are pure energy drain. People who only reach out when they need something. Group chats that haven't served a real purpose in months. Checking in conversations that leave you feeling worse than before you started. In ghost mode, you triage ruthlessly. If a conversation doesn't uplift you, teach you, or move something forward, it doesn't get your time. Third, and this is the big one, no more yes to things that drain your energy just because you feel obligated. The event you don't want to go to, the favor for someone who's never done anything for you, the commitment you made when you were people-pleasing and you've regretted every single day since. 30 days of saying no to what drains you means 30 days of saying yes to what builds you. Now here's what you do with all that reclaimed space. You pick one thing, one skill, one goal, one version of yourself you've been neglecting because you've been too busy performing your life to actually live it. Maybe it's the channel you've been putting off starting. Maybe it's the fitness level you've talked about for 2 years. Maybe it's learning to code, or learning to edit, or finally reading the books you've had on your shelf since forever. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you go deep on it, instead of spreading yourself thin across 100 half efforts. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. It's full of clarity and direction and ideas that your brain has been trying to hand you for months, but couldn't get a word in because the noise was just too loud. 30 days, that's all I'm asking. I want to go deeper for a second, because I think there's something we don't talk about enough when we talk about digital addiction and social media and being too online. And it's this. The algorithm doesn't just steal your time, it steals your identity. Stay with me here. Every platform you use is a machine designed by some of the smartest engineers on the planet, with one singular objective: to keep you on the platform as long as possible. That's it. That is the entire goal. Everything else, the connection, the entertainment, the inspiration, that's the packaging. The product is your attention, and the longer they have your attention, the more money they make. So what do these machines do? They learn you. They watch what you click, what you pause on, what makes you react, what makes you feel something, and then they feed you more of that over and over and over until slowly, without you even realizing it, your preferences aren't really your preferences anymore. Your opinions are shaped by what the algorithm decided to show you. Your sense of what's cool, what's successful, what's beautiful, what's worth wanting. All of it has been quietly curated by a system that does not care about you. That is a terrifying amount of influence to hand over to a machine. And here is the thing about ghost mode. At its deepest level, it's not just about productivity. It's about reclaiming your narrative. It's about asking yourself, who am I when nobody is watching? What do I actually want when the algorithm isn't telling me what to want? What do I find interesting, funny, beautiful, worth pursuing when I'm the one deciding? Most people can't answer those questions. Not because they're not smart, because they've never had the silence to find out. I remember the first time I took a real extended break. Not just a day or two, an actual, intentional 3-week disappearance. No posting, no checking, no performing. And the first week, genuinely uncomfortable. I'm not gonna lie to you. My brain kept reaching for the phone like a phantom limb. I'd pick it up, unlock it, and then just stare at the home screen, wondering what I was even looking for. That discomfort, by the way, is important information. It tells you exactly how dependent you've become on external input to feel okay. Most people never sit with that discomfort long enough to get through it. They tap the app, feel the dopamine hit, and never have to face the silence. But if you stay in the silence, the second week is different. Your brain starts to settle. The constant background hum of anxiety drops. You start having ideas again. Real, original, yours. You start noticing things. You start actually being present in your actual life, not a live stream of it. And by week 3, honestly, it's hard to describe without sounding dramatic, but it's like coming back to yourself, like remembering who you were before you started curating a version of yourself for an audience. That version of you, unfiltered, unperformed, deeply focused on what actually matters to them, that's your edge. That's what most people will never access because they're too scared to log off for long enough to find it. Ghost mode is how you find it. Look, I'll be honest with you one more time before I let you go. 6 months of ghost mode can put you 5 years ahead of everyone else. Not because ghost mode is some magic hack, but because compound focus is real. When you stop dividing your attention between 100 different inputs and start pointing it at one thing, the progress is almost surreal. It doesn't look fast while it's happening. And that's the thing. It's supposed to feel slow. Silence always does. But the question I want to leave you with isn't whether ghost mode works. It works. I've lived it. I know people who've built real, meaningful, financially free lives from exactly this kind of intentional withdrawal. The question is whether you have the discipline to handle the solitude. Because here's the reality. Most people will watch this video and feel something. They'll feel the truth of it land somewhere in their chest. And then they'll finish the video and immediately open another app and drown that feeling in content before it has a chance to change anything. Don't be most people. If you're ready to stop being available to everyone else's world and start being exceptional in your own, drop a comment right now and say, I'm choosing myself. That's it. 3 words. Make the declaration, let it be real. Not because the comments matter, but because saying it out loud, even in a YouTube comment, makes it slightly more real than just thinking it. Stop waiting for the right time. Stop waiting to feel ready or motivated or like the timing is perfect. The right time is the moment you decide to disappear. The right time is right now. Go quiet. Do the work. Come back different. I'll see you at the top.